So today I am playing a different little trick with my little experiments, and I'm getting a medium toast oak that's been soaking now for 6 days. It's the first one I did. I just did a light toast, and what I am going to do, seeing as I like to grow and ferment and age tobacco, even though I don't smoke, is because it's exactly the same as wine or cheese or oil distilling or all the other things that I love to do. So I made these pipes, and this is some 4-year-old tobacco. This one here is Virginia, and the reason it's so dark is because after curing it for about 6 months, I put it in a smoker and I smoked it with Manuka wood. So it's got a beautiful smoke flavour, and it's actually the kind of smoke, Manuka, that I actually want to put in this whiskey, sort of like oak flavouring that I've made. It's just come out of the freezer because I'm cycling it every single day, and I'm freezing it, heating it, freezing it, heating it, and I'm going to keep doing that until Christmas time, and that's 2 months away. Then I'm going to add it a week before to some bourbon that I'm making, or some whiskey, or some wine, doesn't really matter. But the reason I'm putting the tobacco in this may sound absolutely mental, is because I want the leather flavouring to come out of the tobacco, and Virginia has a very good leather flavour to it that this will be, it'll be so subtle you won't taste it, but because I've smoked it, it tastes amazing. I think the only way you could probably imitate leather would be to put in very, very old, and I mean old, aged, hard leather. Not new leather, it's full of chemicals. You want very old leather. It's sort of like a dry leaf smell. So this is the colour of it so far. So once you proof it down, it's obviously going to lose that colour. But the flavour of vanilla at this stage, because it's a light toast at about 220 degrees, it still brings out the vanillin flavours. So then the next roast that I did was a medium toast, and that was about 280 to 300 degrees. And this is Fahrenheit, of course. And it brings out sort of more cherry, almond flavours, some sort of cyanin sort of thing that goes on there. And what else? The dark toast brings out things like licorice, quite dominant, and treacle, yeah, and cherry. But the vanillin is long gone. It's disappeared after that because you've baked it too long. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the best parts of every wood at different baking temperatures and mixing them together in a way that I think tastes wonderful. So yeah, playing around and stuff like that. Rightio, just one last show and then I'll put the video together. This is the colour that the third toast, dark toast, is coming out. Beautiful red colour. I'm just going to keep cycling it over and over in the fridge, in the freezer, then in the heat, freezer heat, probably for the next 2 weeks, and then I'm just going to let it do its thing till Christmas time, and then we're going to do some blending probably about a week before of some brandies and some bourbon. This is the charcoal, the black gunk that I stuck in the water, or the alcohol, last night. This will eventually, this charcoal, all fall to the bottom once the alcohol has done its thing. So it just goes to show how much surface area is actually in charcoal to the point that it's still floating. And yet the fine granules, they've dropped to the bottom. So yeah, hopefully it takes all of the tails flavour out of this, and if it doesn't, well then experiment done. So the wood essences that I am making, this is second use banana, brandy, oak, and it's a medium toast. And I have put it on in alcohol now for a day, and then have it on top of a warm water cabinet. And then now, as you can see, I have had it in the freezer for an entire day, which is hopefully going to freeze the water that's inside the wood and push all of the stuff that's in the wood out. And then I'm going to put it now on top of the water heater again. So as you can see, there's still some wood floating on the top, which means it hasn't completely absorbed. Either that or the gravity's gone up because I froze it. I think that's probably what's happened, because it wasn't floating before. But it's a beautiful rich colour. See the cold coming off it. So now I'll put it in the water heater, pretty close to the copper pipe that comes out the top, which is nice and insulated. So this is the whiskey, as you can see the colour there. Hold it up to the light a bit better. It's a pretty nice dark colour. Considering it's going to be used as an essence, it's going to take on a more yellow colour once it's watered down. So this is getting really good. I've tasted these today and they are divine. So the only reason I came up with this idea was, what happens if you haven't made your brandy yet? What happens if you haven't made your whiskey yet? But you need to age some wood, and you need to get it at least 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months old before you've even made your whiskey and put it in the wood. So I thought, I wonder if I can just accelerate the process. See the colour there? By just doing the wood. This is the fourth oak roasting that I'm doing. I've done it for 10 minutes already, so we've got ourselves a medium toast. It's filling the room full of oak and basically baking smell. It's a lot of vanilla. There's a lot of vanillin that comes out in oak. And I got a bit of blackstrap molasses yesterday. So I'm going to make it at least as dark as that one in there. Very, very dark. And I'm going to use that as a flavouring by mixing port into it. So once I've dark roasted this, I'm going, 75% dark basically. Then I'm going to put port with it in a bag, and I'm going to put it in the fridge and let it macerate and brew away, and then I'm going to dry it out in the sun, and then I'm going to roast it again. So it's going to be sort of like a cheating way of using second, so this is first use oak. I've used it for brandy. It's a cheating way of using second use oak. This is the beautiful smell that's filling my house. Roasting oak. Gosh, it smells good. So we just take it bit by bit. I don't have a thermostat, it just goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's a lot of guesswork, this little oven, but man, has it served me well. So another 5 minutes maybe. Don't really go by time, just keep checking it. It looks a bit pale in the camera, but it's actually a hell of a lot darker than it looks. It's about the same colour as a dark walnut. And that's the place I want to go, and it happens really quickly at the end, which is why you've got to be so careful. Righty ho, so it has cooled down, and this is basically the stage that I want to take the wood to, a very, very dark chocolate. So the next thing you do is you take the heads, which will calm down once you put the wood in there. And I've taken tails number 1 and tails number 2 in my transitions, so they're the best flavours. You don't want to go too far into the tails, because the tails flavour of that dank kind of dishcloth smell will be noticeable. It doesn't matter what you put it with, you can tell it's there. So we've made sure that doesn't happen, and then we're going to put the wood in here, and basically funnel's not going to work because a funnel won't let the wood go through. So once we've filled this up, we're going to let it sit on top of the water heater overnight, and then tomorrow I'm going to put it in the freezer for the entire day and take it out at night time and put it on top of the water heater again. And I'm going to cycle this every single day. And what you're really doing is you're forcing the alcohol in the water, especially when you're freezing it, out of the wood, and then in the daytime it reabsorbs, and then at daytime you put it back in the freezer, and it's going to squash all of that water out, but the alcohol that doesn't freeze can get back in. So it's a way of sucking and pulling stuff in all at the same time. So as it gets cold, it pushes the water out and it forces the alcohol in. And we're going to keep doing this, and that's how we cycle it and force the wood flavours faster than, say, making a brandy or something like that, and then aging it for 4 years. So I've got 2-year-old brandy at the moment, and it's quite mellow and smooth now. So here, what I'm actually doing is just planning ahead, because maybe I want to put some of this in some wine, maybe I want to put some in some bourbon, you know, just use it as an essence. Oh my goodness, what an ordeal that was to get in the bottle. I can see why people use open top jars, alright? Trying to get it through the bottleneck. So some of the stuff is small enough that the gravity is dropped. This, because it's got a little bit of sugars in it, it's going to soak this alcohol, because of how far I burnt it, so much quicker than if it was raw. So this will be very, very, very dark by tomorrow. So first time I'm trying this stuff, and so far it has been working wonders. And here I was thinking I was inventing something, and in fact the very next video I watched on YouTube, it was a guy doing this, and I was thinking, oh, thank God, it means I'm not going crazy. I'll show you the others. So we have light toast whiskey, and it's about the colour it went in 2 days. Quite nice. Tastes quite mild. Really nice if you chucked it in a Chardonnay or something like that. So this is the brandy medium toast. So as you can see, it's got a lot more red in it. It tastes very rich, very, very brandy-like. And this is the dark toast. And it reminds me of sort of like Drambuie or something like that I had when I was a child. Baking the wood has really, really brought out a licorice flavour and a treacle kind of flavour. Molasses, that's what I'm thinking of, molasses. Yeah, but definitely licorice. So it's amazing how you can get banana brandy second use oak, bake it, and you end up getting licorice out of it, which absolutely could happen. It's very, very common. Look how beautiful this red is. Like fine furniture. starting to take on the colour already. But 3 days time it will be rich and red like bourbon. So you can see it's slowly taking the colour on already. It's only been in 5 minutes. But by tomorrow, if we keep cycling it, it's going to speed the time up something awesome. It can take maybe a week instead of 4 months. So there you go. Instead of waiting until you make something and then age it for months and months and months, just age months and months and months and add that to your distillate and let it chill out. I'm just roasting some oak, second use oak wood chips. Getting pretty hot. See, this is the kind of colour I'm looking for. So these ones will change in the next 5 minutes for sure. Once one gets hot, the rest of them get hot. Put them back in the oven for another 5 minutes. I'm not even going to take the risk of sitting down. I'm going to sit here and wait, because the change at the end happens so fast. Gosh, you've got to be so careful doing this. So there's residual heat in the bowl, because it's a stainless bowl. I'm just going to move it around a bit. Okie dokes. I need to take it a touch further. Gosh, I tell you what, this house smells amazing. It smells like oak furniture and baking. And because this oak is second use oak from banana brandy that I made, it's giving the house a smell of banana bread and oak. And once I get it to the correct colour, not quite yet, it's going to look like red bourbon essence, and it tastes divine. So the oven is now off, and the first thing I'm going to do is take out this wood, and I'm going to cover it with a plate to stop the smoke getting out. And then it can just heat mature for the next half hour to an hour, and then I'll put it in some alcohol, and then I'll strip out the flavour. Got to record this bit. So from the vodka transitions that I've shown in the last video for making spirits essences, I've selected 1 and 2, and they will be part of the original brew because they are they're clean tasting. Number 3 started to have a more malty character to it. 4, 5 and 6 started to become more wet dog smelling. The proof is still 65% because it's just the way I churn my still. It has nothing to do with, you know, what's left in the wash. So I have got number 6, and this one is very distinctive in wet dog smell. So this one and this one and this one will be recycled. So number 3, the one that had the most character, I have then taken the oak that I just cooked in the oven. I've put it in this bottle, and eventually this will sink once the alcohol seeps into it, and it will become a beautiful red mahogany colour. Look at that. Gosh. I remember working on oak furniture, and the way to bring out that colour, to check it, to see what it's going to look like, was to put alcohol on it. So this is a medium to dark toast. And this will be used for making bourbon and tinctures for things like brandies that I think need more character, or wine. If I've got some port and I think I need it to up the oak content, I can use it for that. So it's got so many versatile things. Maybe you want to add some to gin. So, next I put it on the water heater to keep nice and warm. This is where I stove my tobacco and age it. This has been aging now for 6 months. It's been cased. It's got honey in it so it stays nice and moist. And it's been here for 6 months. So, the experiment I did yesterday on the overly burnt oak came out this amazing orange colour. And I tell you what, it tastes like bourbon and rum and raisins and banana and baking and biscuits, and it's smooth and it's creamy feeling. So yeah, that's just the byproducts of wood that's used twice, I suppose. This one was the whiskey. Oh, no, I apologise. The first one, gosh, it just goes to show how quickly it's changed. This is the whiskey. Wow, that was yellow yesterday. Now it's red. So, here's the dark toast that I made. Isn't that beautiful? And the taste of it is amazing. Just amazing. So, 2 complete accidents end up tasting absolutely brilliant. Rightio, just one last show and then I'll put the video together. This is the colour that the third toast, dark toast, is coming out. Beautiful red colour. I'm just going to keep cycling it over and over in the fridge, in the freezer, then in the heat, freezer heat, probably for the next 2 weeks, and then I'm just going to let it do its thing till Christmas time, and then we're going to do some blending probably about a week before of some brandies and some bourbon. This is the charcoal, the black gunk that I stuck in the water, or the alcohol, last night. This will eventually, this charcoal, all fall to the bottom once the alcohol has done its thing. So it just goes to show how much surface area is actually in charcoal to the point that it's still floating. And yet the fine granules, they've dropped to the bottom. So yeah, hopefully it takes all of the tails flavour out of this, and if it doesn't, well then experiment done. Right, on the hunt of developing the bourbon. So we've just driven to town and we are at the Bin Inn, which is basically, I think, what Americans would classify as Whole Foods. So we're going to go to the distilling section and we're going to choose a bourbon. Oh well, there we go. What an idiot am I. It's even got Whole Foods written on the front, and you know what? I've never even bothered to notice. So we're in the brewing section. These are all the flavourings. Most of it is still spirits. You've got everything you can need here for brewing. So I am looking for still spirits, top shelf, bourbon, wherever that is. We'll find it. Rum. Tennessee bourbon, that's what I'm looking for. Tennessee bourbon. This one, out of all of the reviews, has come out on top, so that's the one we're choosing today. So this is the Still Spirits Top Shelf Select Tennessee Bourbon Essence. This is 100% corn vodka, so I suppose whiskey maybe. And then we've got 2 sachets, and each sachet makes 1.25 litres. So basically all I have to do is put one of these sachets in here and then let it chill out for a couple of months. So that's what we're going to do. So it is in. Put a lid on it. give it a shake. So there we go, all mixed up, and later in the month, maybe once it's all mellowed down, I'm going to use some of the wood essences maybe to change the profile, just to give it a bit of vanilla and sort of bourbon flavouring. So at least I know it's natural wood and things like that. So that's it. That's what all the essences were made of to get ready for putting this sachet in.